Welcome back. In our meditations on the interactions of Yahweh with Hosea and with Israel via Hosea, we have seen Yahweh's passion for the restoration of Israel. Yet we've also seen his persistence for the repentance from their iniquities. Israel continually became distracted by the world and the things pertaining to the flesh. They took their eyes off of God and placed them on men and on materialism. Today we want to go to Hosea chapter 10, looking at verse 12 and 13, and then as well chapter 11, verses 6 to 10, to see yet another indication of Yahweh's desire for Israel to come to repentance. Yahweh declares, "Sow for yourselves righteousness, reap in mercy. Break up your fallow ground, for it is time to seek Yahweh till he comes and rains righteousness on you. You have plowed wickedness. You have reaped iniquity. You have eaten the fruit of lies, because you trusted in your own way, in the multitude of your mighty men. And the sword shall slash in his cities, devour his districts, and consume them because of their own counsels. My people are bent on backsliding from me. Though they call to the Most High, none at all exalt him. How can I give you up, Ephraim? How can I hand you over, Israel? How can I make you like Admah? How can I set you like Zeboim? My heart churns within me, my sympathy is stirred. I will not execute the fierceness of my anger. I will not again destroy Ephraim. For I am God and not man, the Holy One in your midst, and I will not come with terror. They shall walk after Yahweh. He will roar like a lion. When he roars, then his sons shall come trembling from the west." Yahweh declares in chapter 10 this principle of whatever you sow, you also shall reap, that we see as well in Galatians chapter 6. It says, "Do not be deceived, God is not mocked, for whatever a man sows, that also will he reap. For he who sows to his flesh will of his flesh reap corruption, and he who sows to the Spirit will of the Spirit reap life everlasting. And let us not grow weary while doing good, for in due season we shall reap, if we do not lose heart." In Proverbs 22 verse 8 states, "He who sows iniquity will reap sorrow, and the rod of his anger will fail." Whatever you sow, that also will you reap. Yahweh declared to Israel, you sow for yourself righteousness, you will reap mercy. However, you have sown, you have plowed wickedness, and so therefore you have reaped iniquity. And you have eaten the fruit of lies, because you have trusted in your own way. Yahweh wanted them to turn, then we saw in chapter 11, to turn from their backslidings, from their turning and relying upon their own counsels. Yahweh refers to that as backsliding, when they are turning away from looking to him and trusting him to trusting themselves in their own devices, their own counsels. My people are bent on backsliding from me. It's just this continual process. I keep warning them. I keep calling them to repentance. And yet they continually turn away from me. And yet, juxtaposed again to this declaration of Yahweh that he will have to punish and chasten them because of this sin, we see again his desire for them. How can I give you up, O Ephraim? How can I hand you over? My heart churns within me. My sympathy is stirred. I will not execute the fierceness of my anger. I will not again destroy Ephraim. For I am God, not a man, the Holy One in your midst. I will not come with terror. Yahweh then promises, listen to what he says, that they shall walk after Yahweh. He will roar like a lion. When he roars, then his sons shall come trembling from the west. God would bring his children, Israel, back into the land from the west. Do you hear the prophetic word there? And that is exactly what we saw occur. Through the Holocaust, how dreadful and awful that it was. But coming from that was this drive of Jews, of Israel, back into the land, where God drew back his children from the west into his land. He is doing a marvelous work. Oh, child of God, see how Yahweh is fulfilling his prophetic word, and that he will continue to do so. And then let us hear these admonishments to Israel and apply them to our own lives, that we wouldn't be bent on backsliding, that we wouldn't be bent on turning to our own counsels, to our own ways, that we wouldn't be sowing to our own flesh and thereby reaping the corruption, but rather, as again we saw in Galatians 6, that we would then sow to the Spirit, and then of the Spirit reap life everlasting. Seek the Lord with a true heart. Seek his counsel, seek his word, seek his wisdom, seek his truth, and have a blessed day.